All right, everybody, here we are live. I didn't know you had such good neck stuff there, Mr. Morris. I did not know that.
I've traveled. I've traveled the world. I've seen some things. Well, good Thursday evening, Iona.
Hey, good Thursday evening to you, sweetie pie. How you doing?
I'm feeling like that right now.
Oh, how nice. How
It's been a lot of energy
nice.
expended the last few, and leaving early tomorrow for Dallas, going to the Fan Expo in Dallas. So I'll see everybody there at the
Oh,
convention center in
awesome.
Dallas.
Awesome.
We have a big Seinfeld guest star reunion thing with myself and Larry Thomas and Patrick Warburton, who played Putty, and Wayne Knight, who played Newman. So, four of the hottest guest stars that Seinfeld ever had. And I think the title of it is The Guest Stars That Stole the Show. So, we're in Dallas this weekend, and then we're going to go to Chicago and then Toronto.
Oh,
But that'll be in
awesome.
August. So we do this weekend, and then we're going to go to Chicago first, and then Toronto. Um, I'll tell you the dates when I get them in my head. One weekend
Okay.
after the other. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting with everything going on for me now in my universe to be going out there to see the fans for Seinfeld and for Jackie and the other characters. And I love all those actors. They're so fantastic. This experience with Seinfeld has been changed my life.
Wow.
I mean, changed my life. So I'm really honored to give back to the fans. So we're about to do that tomorrow, and this week has been incredible. I just got to keep it going. My people, the Upshaws, who I've been working with the last month, they just got picked up for their season 5. So I
Whoa.
just got the word today that they're going back to work. Our boy Dino Shorte hit me up, and then Rusty Coleman, the stage manager, hit me up. So, hopefully I had a small part to play in helping them find another season, live again. So there's just a lot going on. I had something on Monday that's just so special and so amazing, and uh, when it goes the way I know it's going to go, I'll bust it out.
I can't wait for you to share with everybody. They're going to be over the friggin' moon to find out what's going on. That's going to be awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, Chris Barrett showed up. Phil Morris.
Christopher Barrett. Hey, Chris, we had a good Monday, huh? So we'll see how it all goes. But that Monday, Dan, that was a bad boy, that one. So I'm really happy,
Awesome.
proud of everybody who was there at the Monday meeting, and we'll see what it results in.
I'm so excited for you. I want to say hi to Kim Essex and also Sonia. I don't want you guys to at all think we weren't thinking about you. Phil, I love what you're doing because you're doing something that really feeds your heart, really feeds your soul. And we were talking about timing. When we all think things should happen right now. That's how things should be happening. But a lot of times that's not how things happen. You
Mm,
gotta you gotta let time let them take their course. It's like gumbo or a fine stew. You cannot rush that flavor. You get those recipes and they say just put it in a pot, warm it up, and then you eat it. No, a good one. I like to cook my chili, like for example, for 3 days. Just
mm.
cook it and then cool it down, put it in the fridge, bring it back out, and just marinate
Yeah,
till the time for it. And I feel like you've been marinating in some things.
yeah. There's no shortcuts, right? Not for the really good stuff. I mean, probably there's no shortcuts anyway. There might be shortcuts when you get to a certain level to eliminate some of the busy work or some of the extraneous stuff. But there are no shortcuts when it comes to mastering your craft,
Mm.
understanding you as a human, understanding your people as human beings. There's no shortcuts. You have to take the time. You have to walk the walk. You got to take those steps that are involved. And when you miss a step, or you try and shortcut it, or go around it,
Mm-hmm.
you're that. You don't have that seasoning, right? Sometimes people say you got to drop a pear. We talk. It's a very sexist thing to say, but that's kind of what has to happen. And I think as a younger actor, as good as I might have been, and as many boxes I might have checked as a young actor, I think there was a part of me that I hadn't dropped a pear yet. The
Mm.
gravitas of life hadn't hit me yet, and it's definitely hitting me now. And I think that the resonance of it is being felt by the universe, and I'm very grateful.
You're wearing it well. I think that's so true. What you say. So often we're like, I want X, Y, and Z to happen at this time. I'm working on it. I'm promoting myself. I'm doing things. I want this job, even out of our side of the industry. I want this job at this time, and but sometimes things don't happen in our time, and so often people give up and say, well, it didn't happen, so I'm going to give up. As opposed to maybe there's more to learn. Maybe you need to find the right people. Um, and maybe it's just not that time, but you're perfecting your craft, you're perfecting your idea, you're perfecting yourself so that you're ready. Opportunity comes. Was it preparation? Opportunity meets preparation. Is that what it is? A preparation meets
Yeah.
opportunity.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Opportunity meets
so
preparation.
right,
Yeah.
we can't give up because you just never know.
And we're in a society that's so quick hitting. It's like we want it
Mm.
now. We want everything immediately, and this thing that we're communicating on creates that a little bit because it's so instantaneous now. It's like people who can get at certain celebrities just like that. Before you couldn't do it. Now you can just like message them or reach out right to them, and it's like we're spoiled by this a little bit. We don't work as hard as we used to for certain things because the information is readily available. Um, the finances might be readily available, but also there's the double-edged sword, which is what kind of information are you getting? What kind of places are you putting your finances? Where are you getting your information? How are you processing that? Who's this? Who's giving it and getting it to you? I had a situation today where I'm a martial artist and I study a system called Wing Chun Kung Fu, and I try to make comments positively on everything that I see, whether I agree with it or I don't. Or if I see something that I think that I can adjust or I can add, never detract, but add, I comment. And I got into a spirited conversation with one of the guys, which I really appreciated. We didn't agree at first, so it doesn't matter to me. I mean, we're negotiating. We're just talking about practice. We're discoursing. Somebody
Mm.
came on and was very insulting and disrespectful, and I was just like, I'm not trying to argue with you. You win. I didn't hear
Mm.
that person again. I'm not trying to argue with you. This isn't what this is about. And I think sometimes we get it mistaken. We think that that's what this is about, as opposed to a safe space where we can exchange ideas, we can exchange philosophies and processes so that we can all
Mm-hmm.
grow. People are here to try to demean people and point and poke holes in their information or their knowledge. And what I've noticed on all of those sites, and I've been studying Wing Chun, as you know, for decades, um, what I find is that people are trying to give you the best that they've got with what they know and how they've been taught and how they've processed it all. They're really not trying to get out there and give you bad information or hurt you. And so when you come back at them and try to hurt them for information they're trying to pass on, I think it shows you more than it shows them. It outs you more than it outs them. And this we have to be very careful with how we're using this so that we can grow through it all. We can take the necessary steps to learn what we're saying and what we're talking about. We do vet our information. We vet what we're getting and how we're saying it. And it's more how we say it than what it is that we're saying because the intent, people can get things wrong. We make mistakes. I'm not right about certainly not about everything, about most things. But I am inquisitive and I'm curious and I want to know. So when I put information out or ask questions that people then try to hurt me or damage me, I'm less likely to want to share.
Mm.
I become guarded. I become hard, and that's not the society we want. But it is kind of the society that we're promoting a little bit. And I caution everybody to be careful and check yourself too. Don't just go, oh, that person has boom, boom. Are you creating information? Are you communicating in a way that people can feel your intent, even if they don't agree with your information? And so we can discuss things. We're on a slippery slope right now, in my opinion.
Hmm. Hmm. We're in a society where now, I want it now. And we miss that marinating, going back to that again. We miss giving each
Mm,
other an opportunity to get better at things. We're so quick to just say, you don't know what you're doing, so stop, as opposed to let me help you with that. Let me show you how to do that better. And also for us to have patience with ourselves. So often we're, oh, I didn't get it right. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, yes, you don't know what you're doing right now, but give yourself time to figure something out, to learn, to grow, and be patient with yourself and kind with others. I'm so with you, Phil, on that tip. This whole social media is a wonderful thing. It allows us to do what we're doing now on
hmm
Thursdays, right? But at the same time, there are some unkind things that people spew out at each other. It's unnecessary. It doesn't help widen our purview. It doesn't help us grow at all. It doesn't help us create a positive atmosphere in our own lives, more or less than what we're sharing with someone else. And to what end? I'm always
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah, exactly. And it's almost as though they're weaponizing it.
Hmm.
They're taking it and creating a platform for themselves to exercise their toxins. What I kind of really wanted to say to this individual was, "Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug? Is there something that you're not saying? You're not being heard somewhere else? Because this is not the conversation. You're getting it wrong." Um, but I didn't, and I'm really trying to learn. I'm using this as a place to learn as well. That when people come at you, how do you respond? Or if people say something out of pocket to you, how do you respond? Are you going to allow that to sway you, or are you going to rise above? Are you going to allow it to elevate your perspective as opposed to lower it? And you're never too old to learn these things. We can't continue to think, I got it. You don't got it. No, you never got it.
Mm-mm.
You wake up every day with a chance to learn and evolve a little bit more, given what you've learned and what you've evolved to in that moment, and then picking up and going forward in that day. And no day is promised. The next day is not promised. So
Mm-mm.
we need to really, really, really sharpen our availability to gratitude and being grateful that we are here to maintain an understanding that if we are not, we cannot. And if you're closed off, you cannot. Your cup is already full. How can I discuss anything with you? You already know everything. There's nowhere for me to exist. So we really have to be careful. I
Yeah.
know you wanted to talk about kind of not the ageism thing and all that. And I think this person, Ward Wilson, is leading us right to it.
They are, yeah, and K9. I wanted to also, I love what we're talking about here too. I didn't want to stop. I was
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I was
I think
looking
it's
at
part of it, but yeah.
exactly. So we can definitely stay here, and we'll naturally go in and go back and forth. K9, I'll bring this back up, and then Ward, we're going to get to what you're saying here too. K9 says time is one thing, but sense of urgency is another. We don't know what anybody is going through. Even the folks we see have the best might be struggling. That is so true. I was with girlfriends yesterday having a lovely brunch at a girlfriend's house chatting, and one of them said that someone recently said to her, God, I want your life. I want to be you. And she's struggling through a lot right now. But she
Mm,
said, what you see is not the whole picture. These are pretty things. And not that she doesn't have a good life, but she's had some tough couple of years with family and trying to keep that all together. And it's so true. We often look and you can't tell a book by its cover.
no, we cannot. And I think K9 is Kolsch. Kolsch, is that you, Kolsch Soul? K9? I think it's the same. I mean, our guy. Anyway,
And it's changed. Let me know, because if it is, I'd like to know.
if they're listening, they will say it may be different on YouTube or other places. Yeah, that's why you got to give people grace and understanding, even when they're acting out of pocket. Like I say, they're going through something. I don't like the discourse I had today with this human being. male, female, I don't know who it is. Yes, it is Coles. What up, my bro?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Yo ho.
I don't know what they're going through. I don't know. I remember I got into a fight in class one time with an older student who hadn't been around for a long, long time, and he came in. He didn't really know he knew who I was from TV, but he didn't know that I was a serious student there. I'd been training for so long. I was the teacher when Sifu went out of town. I was the one who took over, opened, closed, did all that stuff. He had no idea. So he came in, kind of inebriated, and started to use me as an example, and that wasn't happening. So I had to pop him. I mean, it was like people talk about class and that it's not real fighting and no, this got to a real fight, and I popped this dude, and he went down, and
Mm.
then he got up, and I was very angry, and he went to the bathroom. I said, "Clean yourself up, come out here and sit down." And I asked him, "What the hell's going on with you, bro?" He told me he had been at a frat party. So this is some years ago. At a frat party that weekend, got his ass kicked, and he hadn't been training for a
Uh,
long time, and he came back to class to try to prove something to himself, and he just picked the wrong dude. I mean, anybody would have been the wrong guy with that attitude, to be honest with you. But he just he picked the teacher, and so another student might have gotten, he might have popped him, and the person would have gone, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He picked somebody who was like, "Oh, you about this? So am I. This ain't ballet. Let's do it." My point is, he came in with something. It wasn't about me at all.
no,
It had
right,
nothing to do with
right.
my skill, my ability, who I was. It was all him. And he came in with the notion that he was going to overcome his dysfunction, his lack of whatever, and make a reputation off of me, which wasn't going to happen. So I realized that it wasn't personal, Phil. There was a lesson for both of us to learn. When teacher Sifu came back from Hong Kong, everybody was like, "Oh, Phil hit BJ. Phil almost knocked BJ. Oh, it was not good, Sifu. You got it." So he says, "Phil, come to my office." I came in the office. He said, "What happened?" I told him what happened. I told him somebody came in the school and was disrespecting you and the school, and I wasn't having that. Long silence. He looks at me. He goes, "That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't
Mm.
allow people to come in here and disrespect the school. Thank you for that." And he was very proud of me for that. But again, it wasn't personal, but it was something that I had to come to and understand that people come at you from places that are not. It's not about you. It ain't about you.
The four agreements. One is don't take anything personal, even when they're calling your name, because um, especially if it's negative, and you got to check it all because you never know. Like Cole said, you never know what people are going through, so you don't know what they're coming in there with. There was so much for that gentleman to learn from that weekend where he was. And he said he got his ass kicked. Well, what was going on there? Why you had a frat? Why y'all fighting? What? This is supposed to be fun and joy, and then to come into the class to come up and hit up on the teacher, And you're so right. It didn't have anything to do with you. And sometimes we've got. I even find sometimes of checking ourselves, you guys, when we're reacting to people who are coming at us negatively or people who we notice aren't quite together. I had a situation recently. Last week, I went to one of my favorite restaurants, Inn of the Seventh Ray. Amara took me, my granddaughter took me there for my birthday. And the waiter wasn't friendly at all. And I'm looking at him. He's very, very cold, but I'm watching him, and he's like that at every table. He wasn't unkind, but he wasn't smiling. He wasn't, and we're in a beautiful surrounding. It's a beautiful night. And so I told her and another friend who she had invited. I said, guys, this isn't about us. There's something going on. There's something going on with him. So let's just hold space for him. And I'd ask questions and smile about the space and food and blah blah. By the end of the night, he was taking pictures of us. He was smiling. And the two kids I called them, I was with, looked at me and they were like, we would have been pissed. But no, you've got to give people grace and a moment to even see themselves. Giving them a chance to maybe see themselves in a way where they could maybe chill out a little bit, calm down a little bit.
And it's high level. I mean, this is not. These are not easy things. I mean, we're not saying we can't do these things all the time. These are just the things that we would like to do when these things come up. Ward Wilson says, good advice, I guess, but knowing me to be really too hard. That's what I'm speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hard. But those are the things hard things are the things sometimes we got to do. And that's part of it. One of the other parts of this, so good, honestly, this conversation I had today was about the comfort that people, like martial arts, we have to adjust for who you are and what you're going to do, and your physical abilities. Part of that's true. Part of it's bullshit. Part of it is that the system's perfect. You're not. So it's not for the system to adjust to you. It's for you to adjust to it. That's the training. The training is to get beyond your comfort to make that comfortable for you, as opposed to you trying to make it comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
That's like us as actors. My character's truth is my truth. My character's truth is my truth. I bring my own truth as a human being to my character's truth, but that character's truth, it exists. It supersedes my own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for me to match up the best that I can with what I've got and who I am to that truth. As uncomfortable as it may make me feel, that's my job. It's not to make them me. It's to meet in the middle, if you will, in a way. And I have to be able to go through those uncomfortable moments with characters that are not me, have traits that are not mine.
Mm-hmm.
You play a villain, you play a criminal, you play a murderer, you've got to figure out places to accept their truth that is not your truth. And it's going to be uncomfortable. But those are the things that are required of you to give a great performance, to live a great life. You have to challenge yourself to overcome your discomfort. I was going to say, maybe I'll save it for the end, but I think it's worth discussing now and see how people feel, so it isn't the end. I came up with a phrase, I think it was maybe yesterday, day before, with Linda here, our sister. And we're talking about certain things, and what happened with me on Monday, right? Which I'll tell everybody about when I can. Here's what I learned. You are not bound by anything except the truth of it. You are not bound by anything except the truth of it. So if you're in love, you're bound by the truth of that love. Everything else is everything else. It doesn't bind you. The truth binds you. That's your sanctuary in a way. In your career, the truth of your career, the truth of your expression binds you. Not the BS that happens around it. Not the stuff that drives you crazy, keeps you up at night. But the truth of it. And when we look at those things, oh man, you're going to feel a lot of relief. You're going to feel a lot of relief because you're going to realize there's a lot of stuff I'm binding myself to doesn't mean anything. It certainly is not the truth of the thing that I'm thinking about, the it that I'm trying to understand. You're binding yourself to emotions and ego and these things that you think you need to discern the truth, but you're not bound by that. You can choose not to be swayed like that. You can choose truth. You can choose how to find that. That's where you're bound, is in the search for it. If you aren't in it, it's not to the other things, the misgivings, the self-doubts, the lack of confidence, the lack of understanding, the pointing fingers, the making wrong, the stuff that is not truthful. And we bind ourselves to those things because of our ego, because of our emotions. And I really, really came upon that because I'm looking for the truth of what's going to be happening for me in the next few, whatever it is going to be intense. And I'm going to be having to live in that place in order for my life to be successful. And that's just the way life is, and that's the way my life is right now. So it was very impactful to me to come up with that.
It feels like what you're saying too is, and conversation about this of, it's not here, and it's not what you're thinking, it's not your interpretation, it's just what is that you see that's presented to you in that moment. And I can so relate to that. It feels like um, it reminds me of little white lies that can be told,
Right.
you
Right. The
know?
microaggressions, that's a new phrase, microaggressions that
Yeah,
happen in life. And,
yeah, and that stuff that we can do sometimes. I just had a situation with a girlfriend who was having an issue with another girlfriend. She said, "Listen, call me in 10 minutes, and then I'll say X, Y, and Z, and then we'll be okay. We can go off and do what we're gonna do." And I said, "Okay," and I hung up, and then I called her right back, and I said, "No, go in there and say what it needs to be done, and that needs to be enough. Why are we making up things to make others? You got construction, all sorts of stuff going on over there today, huh?"
that's Carla.
I know.
She pounded something.
she
We got a lot going on. There's been a lot going on. We can talk
they're
about
they're
that
they're
too.
they're getting a new kitchen, and I'm just getting a new office. I mean, everybody's getting painting and rearranging, and um. But Phil, it's real interesting that you'd say that because I wouldn't have put it in those words, and I love what you just said because for me a lot of it is looking at my life in an honest way instead of from any sort of fear, any sort of what a different perception than what I see. And it's made it so much easier for me in communicating to people um, um, just in my life, in my work, in what I've been doing. Because guys, I don't know if you and please comment because we'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this. But so many times it's about I know I find myself making everybody else feel comfortable. So I'm not really living in my truth because I'm not taking the time to really acknowledge that or to look at that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm just not there, and I'm spending more time trying to figure out how to manipulate and make things work as opposed to looking at what's happening and that being enough and then reacting from that. And I've found that when I've been doing that as of late, it's things have changed. It's changed within me. It's changed in relationship to some work projects that I have. It's changed for the better, and I actually feel calmer.
That's the key.
Hmm.
Ease, comfort. And you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can be inspired and motivated and have comfort and ease. All of it. I'm not saying that you lay down and die. I'm not saying that you just retire. I'm saying that you utilize your energy in a different way for the benefit of you, for your wellness, not your
Hmm.
disease. Um,
Hmm.
that's what I want. I'm looking at letting go more, not holding on, but letting go more. And when I think of the things that I'm bound to, that I bind myself to, and I realize how silly that is, because those aren't important things, and what are going to move me forward? Well, then what are the important things? That's what I want to be bound to, to those truths. I want those things to resonate in me beyond what I've decided about my life, but the things that come to me in the experience, in the moment, that show me the truth of it. These are things that I don't know, that I'm not aware of. These are things that when I am an open vessel and I keep the channel open, like we were saying with
Hmm.
the Graham letter, uh, they come to me. When I'm bound, when I'm caught up, they don't come to me. That
Hmm.
inspiration, that motivation doesn't come. It makes it even harder uh, because now we're self-generating. We're like, I got to figure out how do I get it. How do I figure out how do I do it?
And you're all up in
And
here.
you're all in your head, and then that creates more binding and more clinging and more chasing, as opposed to relief. And I'm looking for the relief, and then using my energy in ways that are completely progressive and fundamentally energizing for me in my life.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
that's that's my goal.
Seeing where that energy is taking you. Let's see, K9. Let me pull this
Was the
up over
chase?
here.
Was the chase? Asking the chase. And I do want to talk to Ward about
Hmm.
his voiceover career. They said it's never too late. Never. It's never too
Never
late.
too
Ever.
late.
Time doesn't know its time. Think about that. Time doesn't know its time.
Time doesn't know the
We
end, the beginning, the
no
middle,
clue. We
nothing.
give it that qualification. It doesn't know. So you're fooling yourself by putting the limits on your time. My opinion.
Hmm.
When did you get married, Iona?
After 50, yep, I had a full life before.
You know,
And
I pitched.
hey,
I did something on Monday. I'm 65 years old. This shit's popping, people.
popping,
It's
popping.
popping.
I directed my first television show after 60.
Come on.
So it's there are people who say, "Well, when are you going to retire? Retire and do what?" What first of all, I want more money so I can keep traveling and doing things I love to do. But time is a construct that we make up in our minds.
Thank you.
It's a PR marketing
Yeah.
device. That's all it is. You're
Hmm.
never too old to follow your dreams. So, Ward, I'm glad that you have found people who are supporting you in what you want to do, because the voice, you guys, is the last thing to go. I mean, the face can go to hell in a handbasket. Love time doesn't know its time.
Time doesn't know its time.
Time
Don't
doesn't
don't
know
don't
its time.
don't tell it either. Yeah, they
Mm-mm,
created that for calendars to sell calendars and watches.
that's right.
You know what I mean? Now we're going to get older. Okay, we're going to get older because we're organic matter. That's just the way it is, yo. But time doesn't even know we're getting older because it don't
Mm-mm.
get old.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's
So
still doing it's still
that's
doing its thing. It's still moving at the same pace. Nothing has
yep,
changed.
yep,
And
yep.
you lose someone and you get up next morning, you look around and go, wow, the world is still going on. Time is still kicking along. And that's what we need to do. We need to not let, oh God, it goes back to, I didn't get it. I've been working on this project for this long and it hasn't happened. Disney went into bankruptcy 2 or 3 times before Disneyland was Disneyland. Look and see if he had stopped. We wouldn't have the Mickey Mouse. We wouldn't have so much in our lives right now. Look at that. Look, if you had stopped working on or stopped being open
Mm.
to something that is in your life, you wouldn't have had a big meeting on Monday. You
No.
wouldn't be
Mm-mm.
open. And I think that's the biggest thing. It goes back to what you just said about closing ourselves off, because we have these confines, which are limitations that we set up for ourselves. We don't know that they're limitations that we're setting up for ourselves, but that's what we're doing instead of remaining open and seeing what is moving me into this direction. I don't know, but maybe I should try that and see what happens.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it's the best point of all, Iona. It's you're inspired always, but it's different as you grow. That's kind of what I heard. It's like, yeah, what is there? It's going to be different when you're 20. It's going to be different when you're 30. It's going to be different when you're 40. It's going to be different when you're 50. As long as it is, whatever it is, will keep you alive on this planet. I don't do the things I used to do when I was 20. I can't do them. I
Mm-hmm.
can't jump 10, almost 7 feet anymore. I can't do that stuff. I shouldn't be doing that stuff. I should be doing exactly what I'm doing. I can't play the tennis the way I used to. I can't play basketball. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing exactly what I'm doing. And even though we aren't available to those things that we have passed by, we are in the perfect place now because even then we were in the now. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We could have been older when we were younger. We can't be younger now that we're older.
People who say, if I just knew what I knew back then, okay, but you didn't. You didn't. And you couldn't because you hadn't lived. You hadn't lived through life. You've got to live and have experiences, and some that hurt, some that feel good. And missing that, yes, we know you went back to school. We remember, baby, so
Come on.
exciting because you're ready now and you can use the knowledge now. Couldn't do that before.
Hmm.
And that goes back to it doesn't have to be right now.
No. And people always say, man, I wish I knew now. I wish I knew then what I know now. Well,
Yes,
use what you know now for what you're doing now.
right, right. Why are you lamenting something that has passed?
Yeah.
We
That
can't
is
go
so
back and fix
unzen.
that. Very much so. We can't fix it. It's not going to. How is that going to help you right now in your life? Could
That's
you
what you need
make?
to look at.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And that'll alleviate a lot of stuff. That'll keep you straight with a lot of things. Trying to or using who you are now for who you are now. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We were talking. As I said, I was with hanging out with some girlfriends last night, and all of us are over 60, and we were talking about time, just like we're doing now. And one of our friends lives in the Midwest, and all of her friends she's moved back, and college friends are like, well, why? She's in such great shape. They're just like, what? Aren't you going to let it go? When are you going to let it go? And come to this side, come to this mature side of life. And she's like, can you walk up the steps without huffing and puffing? Can you take a hike for a couple of miles? Like I don't what does that mean? At a certain time, I'm supposed to give up my body. I'm supposed to give up my brain. I'm supposed to give up the joy that I have in life to be older. What does that look like? I'm having a great time. Just came back from France. Just did this. Just did these other working her tail off now as an actress in life because she says I'm old, but I'm not being old. I'm not feeling the old confines of the PR and the marketing of that word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We miss so much if we limit ourselves.
And we see it. I see it all the time. I just see it all the time. I was visited by a friend today. I hadn't seen him in 30 years. Um, and he's definitely aged. He knows it. And he was just like, man, you're in such good shape and you look so good and everything. Yeah. I mean, I'm. I don't. Do I work at it? Of course, I work at it because I want to. Because it's what fulfills me. It's what makes me feel whole. It's what makes me. When I'm healthy, I can accomplish more. Not that I'm going to go out there and break records. I can't do that any longer. I'm just trying to be the best me that I can be, and not
Mm,
allow the vagaries of life to take me out. Whether that's diet, health, exercise, consumption, any of those things. And that's a constant truth for me. I never let it
mm.
go. I don't know if I ever will let it go. Um, it feeds me. It serves me, and I think that we lose it too soon. We just drop that a little early. Um,
I'm with you, Phil, and I get it that people don't always, they may not exercise as much, they may not go to the gym, they may not be as vigorous about, but it's all about staying healthy, staying curious about life. We're
mhm.
here to enjoy, even sitting back and uh, um, uh, I'm sorry, I was reading what Annette wrote, and it took me away for a brief moment. So let me just read Annette. I liked being 18 when I was 18. I liked being 30 when I was 30. I liked being 40 when I was 40. Now I want to like being 56 while I'm 56. Honey, don't want to like it. Like 56. It looks good on you. You, as I was aging, and every year, you got a birthday, you're getting older. There are things that I know there's no way I could know at 30. There's no way. And I can say there are things that I now know that people said to me, especially parents. They'll say things to you, but you can't know till you know. Experience is a wonderful thing. The heartbreak, the sadness of some experiences, the joy of other experiences, they're wonderful in how they inform, I know, my life. And I love it. I don't tell everyone I'm my age because this industry is crazy. But there are people I do, the ones who are younger than me, who think I'm their age. And I want them to hold that in themselves of what is possible to keep their mind active.
Hmm.
Or the
Hmm.
ones who are my age who are acting old who think I'm so much younger. It's whatever you want.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that they're reflecting you through them. So as they see, if they're feeling young and youthful and beautiful, then they look young and youthful and beautiful. And you're like, let's go, girl. And if they feel a little like, they're like, hey, what are you doing? How come you doing? What are you doing to do that? Pop, pop, pop. Yeah. And then like they'll be, who did I talk to the other day? I was talking to somebody. And they were like, 60, man. Start 60. I'm like, 65. We good. we good. We all good, man. Let's go together. You know. But yeah, we need to keep vibrant longer. We can't let this go
Yes.
too quickly. You know, allow for the longevity to hit you. You know, stay
Mhm.
inquisitive, stay interested in life. That's what really that'll wear you out when when you let life wear you out. That's when you get worn out. That's when I'm worn out. You know, I'm tired today because of life. You
Right.
know, in a good way, but it's it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of thought. And that's what it requires to live your life and not just exist.
Yeah, and there's I learned this new platform, Ecamm, which is how we're on YouTube right now, you guys, in this last year. And it when Lisa, if any of you were here last week, beautiful Lisa
It was
is
amazing.
yeah, Lisa, she's incredible. She has come on board to help us grow, along with Chris Barrett, Phil's manager, and my manager. And what's really I was so frustrated because I couldn't figure it out, but I stuck with it. I didn't give up. I stuck with it. I asked her the same question 11 to 40 different ways to try and help it make sense over months. And then when it clicked, and I got it.
Mm.
Just think if I had given up. I'm so excited by what I've learned and grown. Um, in directing, there are some possibilities that have come up. And if I had given up on it, then these possibilities wouldn't be there. I'm too
Mm.
old, or it's just not going to happen for me. All of these things we say to bring our dreams down more and more and more, our visions down more and more and more and more and more, to make them what we think is palatable. That's the truth, as opposed to what you were just talking about, Phil. That the truth is happening all around you in its time. I wasn't supposed to get married before I met the man I fell in love with and married him after I was 50. Wasn't supposed to. Hadn't met him yet. I wasn't ready.
Mm. Mm.
And a lot of that has to do with, if we move our egos out of the way, are we ready in that moment? Is it really our time yet? And all these people who want to look 20, look 30, this is where the juicy stuff is.
I don't know how my career has lasted if I was going to hold on to who I was younger. You know, if I didn't transition, if I didn't accept who I was growing, if I was constantly trying to be the younger leading man, I'd be done. You know, it would just been silly. So I've had to evolve. I've had to understand myself every chapter, every step of the way, learn about it, absorb it, accept it, and then I can reflect it and I can express it as an artist. Without that, then you're playing this game with yourself that the audience will see through. You know,
Oof.
they don't even know why you ain't good, but they know you ain't good because you're acting to be trendy.
Right. Right.
You're not you're faking the funk as opposed to actually being in the place you need to be in order to reveal the reality. Anyway,
Ah,
that's that was
yes.
to talk about. You don't stay stuck with what you thought you were. Keep going, keep growing,
Mm-hmm.
keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very successful now because I kept growing, kept moving, kept doing my thing. You know, I'm older dude now, and I like it, and everybody else likes it too because I'm the older dude who's vibrant. I'm the older
Mm-hmm.
dude who's energetic. I'm not the older dude who's sitting in a wheelchair or rocking chair. And those are those characters as well. That just doesn't happen to be me now, and and I'm grateful for what I'm able to accomplish and express. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
And casting no aspersions at all on anyone. It's 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 really speaking to what is possible. What is possible for your life? People who complain, I'm hurting. I'm oh
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah 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 yeah
yeah.
yeah. Don't
Yeah.
don't don't.
Are we gonna hit with Christopher Bear? We want to hit what he said about the
Yes,
less than 1%
I
people have been
know.
on our planet.
I
We
know.
got
You
8
see that?
billion. What a gift!
Uh-huh.
That's like when they say there's only so many NFL players. You know, there's only been so many NBA players. There's only been so many. We There's only been so many people. People.
Right, when you really understand that and you really get it since man just first appeared. Yes, Mr. Barrett. Uh-huh. And we've said this before, and just think about it. You're here now, and there were a whole bunch of there was sperm running up there to catch that egg. Whole bunch. And yours is the one that flowered. Yours is the one that cracked. Yours is the one who got to be here. So to miss out on an opportunity to have a joyful day or to live whatever dream comes to you, whatever your imagination. Elon Musk, I just think of the things he's thought of, that he has created for us. If his thought had been, oh no, I can't, maybe I shouldn't, that sounds weird. There's so much we wouldn't have right now from that little brain of his. And that's
Well, I
from
mean,
many people.
creators, you know, ad infinitum. I mean, that's why they're called creators, right?
Oh yes, and that's
Because
just one name I'm mentioning, but there are
they
many.
thought, yeah, there's the Edisons of the world. There's the Benjamin Banneker's, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
creators all throughout history that we needed, and they were not comfortable in their pursuit. They failed many, 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 many times in order to land upon the truth, right?
That's right.
So they were not bound by anything but the truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that the other things that weren't working were not the truth, so they kept going, they kept going, they kept eking it out, so that then when the truth, literally, when Edison felt the truth, boom, the light came on, literally.
That's right. That's right.
So,
It's about staying in our bodies
mm,
instead of reaching and for something that is elusive and just really staying in your space and looking at your life and seeing what is here right now for you and making that good. And yes, we all have dreams. The dream may not be right now, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And just nurturing ourselves. Nurturing ourselves, so important. I was just looking for something, Phil, on my phone because, excuse me, yesterday there is something called the 20-20-20 formula. Have you heard of this? By
no.
Sher Shah Rahim. It's really interesting. And what it says is you wake up in the morning and for 20 minutes you're stretching, you're exercising, you're moving your body. And then in the next 20 minutes, you're meditating or you're praying. And then the next 20 minutes, you're reading a book, you're exercising your mind, you're learning something new, you're planning your day. This comes from, have you heard of these billionaires who have been up at 5 a.m. every morning? This comes from their plan. He's saying take that first hour of the day and give to you. Do not turn your phones on. Don't turn that television on. And spend that with you and see how it wraps around your day. And one of our friends, Penny, said that she has seen such a difference in her energy, in the way she has responded through her day, if she's had any challenges through the days, how she's gotten through them. And it's created, I see everything as divine. That's the word I was just about to mention. You mentioned that earlier. She's had a more divine day and been more
Mm.
productive in what she's done in taking that hour for her. And that can be hard for everyone. So I think what's important is that it's in threes. If it ends up being 21 minutes and it's 7 minutes and 7 minutes, Cole's saying first thing we should reach for in the morning is water.
Agreed. I
I
agree.
totally agree with that. That's the
Man,
first thing I'm reaching for.
I have a thermos by the side of my bed, and it's one of those thermal thermoses. And so when I hit that water in the morning, it's cold, it's bracing, it cleans all the gunk out of your throat that you've been breathing through all night long. No, I
Mm.
totally agree with that. And what I like, Iona, I like process. I like
Mm.
process. I think it really helps us. I think we all are in need of it. Um, and it gives us a structure by which we are getting out of ourselves, beyond ourselves. So I do this thing now every night. This bodybuilder was talking about these exercises he does right before he goes to bed. No matter what workout you do that day, it doesn't matter. It's an arm workout, and you take 15-pound weights. It's 12 to 15 pounds, depending on your strength level at first.
Mm-hmm.
15 pounds. And you do 100, lay on your back on the floor, 100 skull crushers, 100, without stopping. No stopping. Very, very, very difficult, right? Then, a little bit of a break, and you do 100 curls, 100 curls. You can do hammer curls, you can do curls, 100 without stopping. I've been doing them every night for about 20 nights. At first, they were brutal. Brutal. I would get to 40 or 50. My arms wanted to explode. It was terrible. And I have kilogram weights, so I can't quite get 15. So at first I was at 11.6. So, but I'm doing them. I'm doing them.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got to the place where, I'd get to 70. And, I'd have to put them down, and then I'd finish. But I couldn't go all the way. I finally got all of them. I got 100 and 100. And I did that for 3 nights straight, just to make sure I had it. And then I went up in my weight, because the next weight is 16.6 pounds. It's not 15 pounds. There's a lot. So now I'm at 16.6 pounds. I do them every night. I go to sleep, right? I wake up. My recovery is overnight. So my arms the next day feel amazing. Then I don't feel it. And I'm much stronger in my other workouts. I feel great. I get to a place where my arms want to explode, and I just keep going. And then I feel better, and I can keep going. It's crazy. At first I would stop when it hurts. It showed me I'm stronger than I think. It showed me I can push past my perceived level of pain.
Limitations too.
Yeah, they're perceived. They're accepted. This is you're not bound by anything but the truth of it. And so the truth of it tells me I can do more. I was bound by my mind. It hurts. Ow, I want to stop. No. And it's a metaphor. I do it, yes. And yeah, do I want to have strong arms and all that? Sure, of course. But for me, I do it as a metaphor for my life. It's a process that I'm committed to. I am committed to myself. It shows me that I can push further and past a point that I didn't think I could push past. That's just what a successful life is. You get to that point of discomfort. Like, I can't answer these questions. I can't fill the form out. I just can't take the meeting. I can't answer the phone. When you answer the phone, when you fill out the forms, when you take the meeting, when you do the things that are necessary for the truth of it, what are we talking about? It's all training to me.
What is it? What did he say was the reason why he chose these 2 exercises 100 times a night?
Guys always want bigger arms. They always want
Oh.
a stronger upper body, So it's a chance to do that workout without excuses. No excuses. Get it done. Shut up and do it. So I'm trying to do that everywhere. I'm trying to do 100 air squats, or I'm trying to do 100 sit-ups, or I'm trying to do 100 push-ups, or I'm trying to do 100 whatever. The 20-20-20 formula is very much like that. It's an intellectual application of it or expression of it, but I really appreciate process, and I respond well to disciplines that require moving past and through yourself. That's why Kung Fu was I was so enamored with that. I had to do something that I thought I was going to be good at it immediately, right? The quick gratification, instant gratification. Oh no, it took decades for me to get it, but I was willing. I was willing, and it resulted in some pretty high level skill
that you are using not just in that room, or using it so if you come over to me, I can take care of myself and my family. It comes into your whole spirit, and it goes past that to something else. That's so important.
I used it tonight in this. I was exhausted, tired. It was difficult, but I'm here, and there's so many wonderful things I gain from it, and it's testament to it all.
Mm, mm. And like you said, the conversation is not just for every one of you who are here, but it's also for us too. I'm glad that you did come and share all your love and everything. And
Well, thanks for creating this platform, Iona, and expanding it. I mean, really, this is her doing. She'll tell you, she was doing that, and I say, hey, look, this is your thing. I'll be there, and I appreciate it. And I've given some suggestions and so forth. This is really hers. She's worked very hard and diligently with this, and I'm really proud of her and thankful for her. So as often as I can appear, I will appear. It might be difficult come the future because, as we
oh my
say, things
gosh,
percolating. There are a lot of things percolating.
I know. I was thinking about that. I have some directing stuff that's kind of around, and I'm like, oh man, Thursday nights. But you know what? Phil, if it turns into something where we're doing it live and then we're recording and we're putting it out there for everyone, I think that this is an important enough platform for us to do that and get wonderful little pearls. Jeannie just said something here. She says, our family would say can't never could do anything. So true. Can't never could do anything. Okay.
Can't never, which means
Can't
always. Can't
never.
never means always. A double negative is always positive. Could do anything. I
I
get you, man.
love it. I love it.
Dude. I don't know if I told people, I'm going to go into my final now, Alan.
Yeah, well, before you
Go ahead.
before you do
Hit it.
this, there's something else that I wanted to do, and I wanted to let you guys know that you can follow Phil and me, and we would love for you to do that. Love that, Jeannie. Love that. And that's where you can find him. And this is where you can find myself. Follow. And this is where you can find the show. And just so glad to have you guys with us. And
No, hold on. Jeannie just enlightened all of us. Can't as if they were a person. So, can't never could do anything. Am I right? We need a little comment by can't. Can't.
right,
Never
could
could
do
do
anything. Right.
So if you're living in can't, trust and believe, you can't ever do anything.
Can't never could do anything. That's the truth. And try never did anything either. I think that's can't's cousin.
Mm-mm-mm.
So hey, baby. Yeah, I was gonna make that suggestion so we're right in flow. Go ahead, Phil, with your final comments, my
Yeah,
dear.
and Cool Soul K9 says, everyone please like, share, subscribe, do that. That's what this is all, I suppose.
Thanks,
I don't do it
fellas.
for that.
Tell
Yeah,
your friends too, baby, because we'd like to get more people here, build up the platform, and be really wonderful. I think.
spread the word, spread the word. But for me,
Yes.
and Iona would be very happy with that. For me, I don't. And take this the way I mean it. I don't care. I don't care. I want people to hear us. I want people to feel us. But if one person feels us, one person hears us, good for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I didn't come on here for anybody but Iona, to be honest with you. I didn't come on here for more likes, for more followers, for anything. I came on here for her, and that's how we feel about each other. That's how it goes with us.
Yeah.
And I want the world to see it. I want them to know. And with this new groove that I got going on, my relationship with my sister is very central to the proceedings of what's going to be happening in this particular venture that I'm about to launch. At any rate,
Love
here
you,
are my
Phil,
thoughts.
so much.
I love you too, Anna. So true. I was driving home the other night, and I'm sure I told you guys this, and I'm going to say it again. I was driving home the other night. I had a wonderful day up the mountain, driving with my friends, and my car people, and you know how much I love that. Like so many other things, I have such passion for that. And I'd gone to do a wonderful voiceover job. It was all happened on the Friday. And I'm driving home, and I got very emotional. Because the things that are working in my life right now are working so well. And I've had struggle, I've had challenges, I've had relationship struggles and challenges, I've had personal struggles and challenges, financial struggles and challenges. My sisters and I have lost our parents, we have gone through that. I've lost dogs, I've lost friends. And I realized how grateful and fortunate I was to be who I am, to have what I have, to be surrounded by the love that I'm surrounded by. It was a life-affirming moment. It was a bit painful, yet joyous all at the same time, as though everything that I've ever done had led to that moment in my car of understanding and acceptance. And I share it because we don't acknowledge those things enough. We don't give light to our gratitude, to our grace, to our honoring of life, to our honoring of our own journey. And that's what this was for me. I'm like, Phil, dude, good job, brother. Good job, man. Stay with it. Stay with it. Warts and all. And at the end of the day, anything that I've done that has been a transgression, that has been something that I'm not proud of, it's minor on the scale of life. It's minor compared to where I could have been in life. And the friend of mine that came today, 30 years I hadn't seen him, he and I were in a place years ago that I could have made decisions that were not very good for me and would have given you a very different Phil than you see today. And I'm grateful that I did not make those decisions. I made enough ones. I made enough of them that blew up in my face. I didn't need my life to be affected like that. And I'm so grateful for it, though. I'm grateful because I know now the difference. I can compare where I was to where I am. So if you're struggling and you're in darkness, know that you can get to the light and that the struggle will help you get better. And this is your struggle. This is your life. This is what you're going through. What are you going to make it mean? It's only you that needs to make it mean anything. Everybody else in your life is affected by you, but they're living their life. This now is you. What you going to do? You heard what I said to Ione. We are not bound by anything but the truth of the thing. And that's where I'm going to be living, hopefully for the rest of my life. And feeling the joy that I felt in the car that day, and trying to share that with the world, and trying to maintain and stay in that place. As Yoda would say, there is no try, there's just do. So I will just do. And with nights like Thursday nights, and people like my sister Iona, and people like you who are listening, who will give us words of encouragement and improvement, we carry on. And I'm very grateful.
That was beautiful, Phil. That was beautiful. You know, you guys, I, you know, Thursday nights came from a simple one night request. And I realized that I'd always wanted to do something to spread love and give encouragement and inspiration to people. And I didn't know how that was going to happen. And then this platform with my incredible brother presented itself, and we're just flying by what the universe is saying, what the energies are moving us. Not forcing anything, but just flowing. And I feel all of you, and when you come and you're here and your comments, and I love Jeannie and Kim, what you both have said, and I'm gonna put these down here. My final words, you guys, are think about some of the things we talked about in terms of time, in terms of what we think about when we let things from outside affect us in a negative way. Where are you living? What is it that you really want? Not what you're supposed to have, what you're supposed to do, what someone else is telling you. You know, you really got to do this. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, and it's usually your family, your grandmother. We need this, we need that. What is it that you know is in your soul that wakes you up every day? That's where I'm living. And that's what has made my life so much better. I think I recently told you guys, these little white lies that I know I would tell about, oh, I'm sorry, didn't get your email, and I'm responding late, but I got the email and I forgot, but I didn't want them to think I'd forgotten. Those little white lies, they seem not to hurt anyone, but they do. They hurt me because I'm not telling the truth. I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm not living for anybody else. Not that I have my moments of that. I want to live for me. Annette going back to school at 56. I have never felt better in my life. And I'm going to feel better until my days end. And I'm going to be spreading love and reminding you and anyone else who I come in contact with that you are enough. You are who you've been waiting for. You are your best friend. You are the bomb diggity. And I want to tell you that it brings me much joy to be with this man right here at any time. And on Thursday nights, very much so. So I'm glad that we enjoy each other in doing this, sweetie pie. This is awesome. Love you too.
Good week, good weekend. I will see everybody when I get back from Dallas.
All right. You have a great time, and everyone have a good one. And as you know, I love to say, night, Philly. Night, y'all.